I'm Shelby Sim, and this is the Ynez Valley. 6 beautiful communities with a million things to offer. Delicious food, world-class wine, and more fun than you can imagine. But at its heart is a community of great people with stories to share. Join me and let's discover the Ynez Valley. Today we're exploring the great outdoors here in the Ynez Valley. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're heading to the Midland Trails.
We're going to be going for a hike, and when you go for a hike, make sure you're prepared. Bring lots of water, and if you're going on a longer hike, bring some food and some place to put your layers, because you're going to want to layer with the different weather conditions. All right, let's go. When you hike on any of Midland Trails, you want to get a permit in your car. And this is for safety, so they know you're on the trail. All right, let's hit the trail. Here we are on the trail. Isn't it beautiful? Let me tell you, it's beautiful. If you can't see it, I can feel it and see it. We're going to go and meet with Regina with Midland School and learn more about these trails. Let's go. Regina, thank you so much for having us out in this gorgeous, beautiful morning in this beautiful place in the Ynez Valley. We're on the Midland Trails with Regina, and she is with the Midland School. We're on one of the Midland Trails, but it's actually a school. Will you please tell us about that?
Yeah, not many people know that we're actually a 9th through 12th grade boarding school, college preparatory. It's very unique because we have a campus that is on approximately 2,800 acres. So it gives that opportunity to really get outside the classroom and learn about place and the environment and really have the hands-on experience.
And how much time do they actually spend in class as opposed to outdoors?
Well, it depends on the class, obviously, but we do have classes tailored specifically to getting them outdoors. For example, our 9th graders have a course that is called Midland 101, and it talks a lot about our natural and cultural resources and gets them really connected to the place and learning the history of this area and also some of the conservation issues and wildlife and plants.
What an incredible location for someone to grow up and learn at.
A little bit about the history of the school.
Yeah, the school was started in 1932 by Paul Squibb, and they acquired the land from the historic La Laguna land grant, which was obviously taken from the Chumash, unceded land there. So it gives us a unique opportunity for our students to really get outdoors and learn in the environment. So.
And you mentioned the Chumash. This was their land.
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me earlier that this area was one of the largest villages in the Santa Ynez Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do ask our visitors when they visit our trails to take a moment and give thanks to the original stewards of this land and the opportunity for us to recreate and hike and enjoy it.
Absolutely, and you just feel it. It's so spiritual, and look at that gigantic thing behind us. I call her the queen of the SYV. She is the Grass Mountain.
Let me tell you, I've done this trail a number of times. There's no words to describe the beauty you'll see going up Grass Mountain.
So this trail we're on now can go all the way up to Grass Mountain, and then I know it shoots off the Lover's Loop and probably a few other trails. But how many miles of trails?
We have 35 miles of trails. And
35 miles.
Yeah.
Plenty to do.
There's a lot to do out here. And some of the trails are pretty rigorous. Others are, pretty friendly to all levels of athletic ability. But really when you come out here, you really need to be prepared to have some hills and hot weather and of course wildlife, and we also have livestock out here as well.
Right, so the weather changes. If you're from California, then you know to dress in layers. It's very, very important. And water.
Yes, a lot of water.
Water's a big deal.
We
Yeah.
recommend at least 2 liters for your hike.
Yeah.
With 35 miles of trails, every hike is a different experience.
Regina, tell us about the different wildlife that we would see up here, perhaps on these 35 miles of trails.
Well, it's a very unique area, as I said before. You start at low grassland, oak savanna, and you work your way through different habitats, coastal sage scrub, blue oaks, and valley oaks and coastal live oaks. So you'll get a wide variety of species, and my favorite are the birds.
When we were walking up, you identified 3 or 4 different birds.
Yeah, the Steller's jay is one of my favorite, and you won't see them in the valley floor, but you'll see them up in the mountains here. We have bears, mountain lions, all those lovely 4-legged mammals.
Sometimes we have super blooms, wildflowers.
Yes, if it is a super bloom year, like we say, traffic and parking can be a bit of a challenge, so get here early and make sure to stay off the roads.
So before we were talking as well, when it does become super popular at different times of year, or if there's a super bloom and there's a lot of people, you do not have an active visitor center. So what is the best way for people to go about and come up safely and respectfully?
Well, the first thing I would do is go to our website, and that'll give you trail status. So sometimes we do close our trails for school events because, again, it's a school first,
right.
And we love folks to come out and visit the property. And then if you have any inquiries, you can email them to land@midlandschool.org. And any questions we can answer for that. But we do not have a full-time visitor center. We're a small school, and we manage the trails in partnerships with several different organizations to help us maintain them for the public. So email's probably the best if you have any questions. Yeah.
And there's, as you recall, when we first got here, we filled out a form for our permit. Usually have information posted there as well as to the current conditions of the trail.
Yes, and safety is foremost, the consideration, but we do also have, in times of inclement weather and rain, our trails get really soupy or muddy, and we want to prolong the life of our trails, so to reduce that traffic during that time is really important.
I can't get over how beautiful it is today. Although it shouldn't surprise me, it's almost always sunny in the Santa Ynez Valley.
This has been fantastic, Regina. Thank you so much. And when isn't it a good time for a selfie? Awesome. Regina, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Fantastic. Let's hit the trail.
Let's do it.
Our next stop is in the town of Buellton, where an amazing group of locals have created an outdoor treasure for all of us. This is the Santa Ynez Valley Botanic Garden. Hi, Puck.
Hi, Shelby. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good
Thank
to
you for
see
having
you.
us out today. What a gorgeous morning to be at the Ynez Valley Botanic Garden here in Buellton in Riverview Park. Puck, please tell us a little bit about the history. How did this come to be?
Well, the long story started about 15 years ago when my landscape firm, architectural firm, Arcadia Studio, designed this park, and we were required to set aside land over here for the endangered western willow flycatcher. It's a really charming little bird whose main nesting site is between Buellton and the garden. And a small group of us thought, why not create a habitat not only for the flora and fauna that is native to the area, but also the community that lives here. And so it's become a habitat for all.
I live less than a mile away from the garden, and I can tell you, this place is an amazing gift to locals and visitors.
The growth has been amazing over the last 5 or 6, 7 years. It's really cool, very special. You are making that an amazing spot for families, for kids, for people to come out and experience things.
Well, I have to say that this is truly a community effort. Many times botanic gardens and public gardens are designed by a designer, and then the public raises a great deal of money to build it, and that's the total amount of involvement of the public. We chose another path where we laid out the bones of the garden. There were no trees, there was not a plant on the site, and over time the community has helped design and build the garden. There are so many things in this garden that we never dreamed of, from tic-tac-toe for children to the wishing tree, and all those came from the heart of the community.
That's awesome. Let's check it out.
Sure.
Howdy.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, a little dirt on my hand there.
Excellent. Puck, who do we have? This is Eva, right?
This is Eva Powers, one of our board members, and as you can see, our board we're all very hands-on, and this is the time of year when we're all out here helping the garden along, pulling weeds.
Yeah, plenty to do. Plenty to do.
Both Puck and Ava are very involved in the community, and don't only see them here in the Botanic Garden, but also other arts projects and other community things. It's, again, wonderful to spend the morning out here with you ladies.
Oh, good to have you here.
Thank you. What do we have behind us?
Behind us is our first public art project that we undertook when the garden was started. There were just trees and this beautiful mural that was created by some young adults from the local Chumash tribe. And it is the story, the universal story of greed and willingness to share. The coyote and the magpie fight over the salmon in the Ynez River. And this is actually a stormwater head wall that carries all the stormwater from the local neighborhood up the hill. And so this really was a wonderful undertaking and just allowed people to see the magic of gardens and art working together.
The nucleus of the garden and everything that could be here.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's great to see the Chumash culture acknowledged and appreciated like this. This valley's history goes back thousands of years, and it's important to honor it.
Wonderful. And I understand we're going to go on a trail.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, please.
All right. So Shelby, now since Puck, we lost her pulling some weeds over there, guess what we're standing on?
It looks like a big rock.
So this is a flagstone, you're absolutely right. And it's about a 3 to 4 inch flagstone that's going to become the back of one of our artistic benches that's going to be up here on the Wilderness Trail. And if you're okay with it, I want to show you what's going on up there.
That's great. I totally want to see it, and just a great example of the work in progress.
Yeah.
It's never done,
Nope,
right?
never.
This garden will always evolve. Always things to do, always things to grow. I'm so excited there's so many trails here, and this is a newish one you just put in?
Yes, it is, and it was funded by Santa Barbara Foundation, and then we received additional private donations and sponsorships, and the result is the designer Karis Clinton. She's one of our volunteers, and she designed this wilderness trail that's representative of 3 areas, one being Figueroa Mountain, that's up here. The center is Gaviota Coastal Range, and then the west end, that's the Channel Islands, and all plants, rocks, minerals are native to those particular areas.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go check it out.
All right. So Shelby, you know, when you're up at Figueroa Mountain, which is one of our legendary geographic areas
Yes.
in Santa Ynez, all the plants that you see here are native to Figueroa. And it's a place that I highly recommend that you go for trail hikes. And that's what we're trying to encourage by installing this wilderness trail, because a lot of people haven't experienced being outdoors on
Right.
wilderness trails.
Yeah.
This is a great way to get started, especially introducing your kids
Right.
to the outdoors. And along the trail, we have signs that are providing education that is related to the specific area where you find yourself. So see how the
Like a little
rock are
amphitheater
kind
going
of
on there?
blue?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a specific rock and mineral that is native to Figueroa Mountain.
Is that right?
Yeah, serpentine rock.
Oh.
It's just so beautiful in color, very different from anywhere else. And you find that here, and you find it in Santa Lucia Mountains up Highway 1 towards Big Sur.
Did you bring this here?
We did,
Huh.
yeah.
You not only get to enjoy nature, but you also get a good workout.
It's about a 450-foot long trail, but we also have bypasses because it's narrow, right? Just like a trailhead is out in nature. So every now and then when you have people coming from the 2 directions, we want to be able to allow them to bypass one another without knocking each other off at
Right.
the edge. And we have 3 artists and a grant that's funded by Buellton Art and Culture Committee. And they're funding the 3 benches. One is being installed here by stone artist Lonnie Etzel. And that's the rock that we stood on at
Is
the
that right?
beginning.
All right.
And so that's going to be the back here,
Yeah.
and then he'll engrave Chumash symbols from the Santa Ynez Chumash.
Oh.
And the view here is just stunning.
Oh my.
So right now where we are is an area representative of the Gaviota Coastal Range, which is out along the coast about 10 minutes away from here.
Yeah, about 8 miles
Yeah.
to the
yeah.
ocean from the Santa Ynez Valley.
Which is so wonderful about Santa Ynez, that we get our coastal influence as well as the hot valley temperatures. So that we have a pretty unique group of plants here because of that system. So fairly similar to Figueroa Mountain, what's that Gaviota.
Uh-huh.
But now we're working our way into what we're really excited about, and that is the Channel Islands. Channel Islands obviously does not suffer from frost, the plants. So it's limited what we can grow here, and it's kind of a trial and error for us to figure out what we can grow here in Santa Ynez Valley that's also native to the Channel Islands.
We are so lucky to have such passionate people caring for this garden.
And Channel Islands have a sandy soil, sandy shale, so we introduced a lot of sand and shale in here. And you can see the fence is still down because we're still working on it. These are Torrey pine that were donated by our local native plant grower, Manzanita Nursery, and we're very excited about that. They grow on Santa Rosa Island, and they grow at Torrey Pine, and we even have one at Carpinteria.
Huh.
And now we got 4 here.
This is a great spot for a selfie. Ava?
Okay.
This place is so beautiful. You have to come and check it out for yourself.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Derek. Hi, Puck.
Hi, I'm Derek.
Derek, Shelby, it's a great pleasure to meet you.
You enjoying the garden today?
Very much so. We just took an amazing trail and could see so much, and we learned about Figueroa and Gaviota and the Channel Islands. What else do we have here that represented on there?
We have lots of great areas of the garden. There's also a medicinal garden across the way. There's a family garden right behind us
Medicinal
here.
garden.
Medicinal garden.
Tell me about that.
It's amazing. We have plants that are medicinal, used for many different ways in medicinal purposes. From native culture, Shumash, they used it for healing many different ailments.
Awesome.
Something a lot of people don't know is that the willow tree is the plant that aspirin is extracted from.
I did not
And
know
so
that.
every time you have an ache or pain, think of the willow down here.
Oh.
Chew a little bark.
Yeah, chew
And
a
while we
little
were
bark.
walking, you told me about the best thing that made iced tea.
Oh, yeah, the hummingbird sage.
Hummingbird
yes, you can
sage.
Google the recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody should have hummingbird sage in their backyard.
Oh, right on. All right, the different areas.
We have rain garden here, family garden. What else, Puck?
Oak trees and native grasses.
The wilderness trail, amazing new addition.
And then the willow maze, kids love that. They disappear in there, running in the trails and trying to do a little hide and seek.
It's just a magical place for kids. They love it.
A magical place for kids right here in the Santa Ynez Valley in Buellton in Riverview Park. Thank you all so much for your time this morning. What a beautiful morning. It feels good, folks. It feels good. Come and visit. How can people find their way here?
They can find us online on our website or Facebook, Instagram. They can find us in Buellton on the west end of Riverview Park.
Puck,
Thank you.
Derek,
Thank you.
Ava.
It's been an amazing morning hiking and exploring the garden, but now it's the afternoon and we're heading to Los Alamos to get our hands dirty in the best way.
Here we are in Los Alamos, but we're only going to be here for a moment because we're going to get in this van and go on an amazing tour. Let me introduce you to Sarah and Callie of the Dirt Shepherd.
Hi Shelby, how are you?
I'm pretty well, thank you very much. Always a great day in the Santa Ynez Valley. Please tell us about the Dirt Shepherd.
Before I start talking about it, can I pour you a little wine?
Yes.
Today we're pouring Lumen Chardonnay, and really that's how the Dirt Shepherd started off. Will, my husband, and I, he owns Lumen with winemaker Lane Tanner, and we planted 5 acres on our property, and I thought, well, how are we going to get people up to our small little 5 acres to see what we're growing, our estate wines? And I thought, well, why not get a van, have them start off at Pico, our restaurant in Los Alamos, wine tasting at Lumen, get them in the van, drive them up to our property where they can see our new vineyard, which we're going to try and farm biodynamically. So that got me thinking, it's not just our vineyard that I would want to show people. Maybe people are interested in where their food grows, how farmers do their job, what it means to be a biodynamic vineyard, what it means to be a regenerative farmer. We have the van. Why not take people to all of these great farms in Santa Barbara County that are farming consciously?
I love it. Agro-tourism, it's a thing, and it's going to become bigger and bigger, and you're on the cusp, making it happen. This is such a great thing, and so happy you're doing this.
Thank you. It's not a tour of the 90s anymore. Moving into 2022, we're all talking about what the small farmers do and how food gets on our plate.
This is great. I'm so excited. Why don't we get in the van and go get in the dirt?
Let's do it.
How cool is this? You're going to a farm, but you're doing it in a luxury van with a glass of wine in your hand. Take that, glamping. At our first stop, We got to pick some fresh mint and hold baby chicks in our hands.
So one of the cool things about this area is that we get to do stuff like this all the time. We get to come outside and hold the chickens and pick some fresh mint for a cocktail or a salad, and that's the lifestyle that we wanted everybody to be able to experience and come and have a look at, how we get to live really close to where our food comes from.
This is a really fantastic way to connect to nature and explore the Santa Ynez Valley. I love what the Dirt Shepherd is doing. The van is so comfortable. We went up and down some hills, and now we're in Alisos Canyon, beautiful Alisos Canyon. I was able to sip on some amazing Lumen wine while we were driving. And please tell us about where we are now and the kind of things that you offer for kids, for families, picnics, that kind of stuff.
So right now we're in between some beautiful grazing land and a vineyard that you can't quite see, which would embody one of the tours that we offer. A grape and a goat tour, where we take you to a farm and a vineyard. We also have tours for people who just want to focus on regenerative farming, the agriculture side of things, where you can visit 2 farms, or for a lot of people in the area who are here for wine, we can do a vineyard where you see the grapes being grown, and a tasting where you actually get to taste the fruits of those labor. And we also have a kids option.
Tell us about that.
I have a 6-year-old who just loves to be outside and play. She also loves to run around the hills and see lots of different varieties of animals. And so we take tours with kids so that they can learn about where their food comes from, whether it be vegetables or even bacon.
Right on. So an immersive experience in the Santa Ynez Valley. You're not just sitting in a tasting room, you're not just at the restaurant, but you're out and about, you're touching, you're feeling, being part of the experience that is going to make your meal taste that much better. And also it's going to educate you on where's my food come from every day, and where am I purchasing my food, and how is it coming to me. Very cool that you gals are doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please tell us how we can learn about the Dirt Shepherd and take this amazing experience.
All of our tours are listed on our website, thedirtshepherd.com.
Sarah, Callie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard of John Muir? He's the reason we have national parks in this country. His conservation work is why we can appreciate the beauty of our wilderness. John Muir was once quoted as saying, "Of all the paths you take in your life, make sure a few of them are made of dirt." Come to this beautiful valley, hike a trail, visit a garden, get your hands dirty, hold a baby chicken. These are the kind of moments you remember for the rest of your life and look back and say, I did that in the Santa Ynez Valley. Next time on Discover the Santa Ynez Valley. To see past episodes, please check out our YouTube channel and Amazon Prime.